Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. And today, I still have something to discuss about Disney before I would move on with something else for my channel. I still have something to do for my Disney related videos, and I guess to be more specific is in regards of their animation, and I guess to be more specific, it's in regards of the character of TinkerBell, whom I haven't really spoken about in quite some time. I've already reviewed all of her movies, and I haven't really spoken about this character for quite some time. And yes, of course, like I said, it's when I say quite some time, it's been such a long while, which I have to admit is a bit of a shame because Tinkerbell is definitely one of my favorite characters from Disney's animation, and she's pretty much very iconic for Disney. So she's very much a icon for for the company. And the thing is that since the character of Tinkerbell was in so many movies, I felt like she should have been in more. But the thing is that, of course, the movie industry is very difficult. And yes, even if it's animation, it's still a very hard thing to get through. And there's a lot of stuff that can potentially go wrong during the process of making your movie, whether it's live action or animation or a combination of the two. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. But the thing is that for the time being, she had who, in regards to herself, she had, yeah, like six movies so far. Yeah, they originally planned to do more, but it was eventually canceled due to poor sales or whatnot. But in my eyes, my personal favorite, folks, will have to be the Lost Treasure animated movie, the second installment of the series of films. That was my personal favorite there, folks, because in a lot of ways it really displays how the character can have her own adventure, of course. But basically, going back to the very first film that started her as a own feature, her first CGI animated film, it's pretty much like her origin story that explores how she basically became to be. It's not the best one in the series, but it's pretty good. And Tinkerbell is very much like a mascot, like how Mickey Mouse is. Yeah, both characters can be mascots for the studio in a lot of ways when you actually think about it. Which is why, in some ways, I feel like they should have made more movies for Tinkerbell. But unfortunately, we might not see that anytime soon, really. At least in the animation department, anyway. So I do kind of feel like they should have done more with with the character. I can definitely see that they were trying to keep these stories interesting in a lot of ways. I seem refreshing, like the fact that she's supposed to have a sister in that one film, and why all those other movies like the animated film Pirate Fairy, and then there are another entries in the same series of films like the Legend of the Never Beast. These two specifically don't exactly center around Tinkerbell's character. She just happens to be in those adventures, which in itself doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing per se. Because in some ways, Tinkerbell does remind me of another popular character, and that's Bugs Bunny. Because with the character of Bugs Bunny, you can basically set him in any kind of situation, and he be it kind of makes sense somehow. So he could be in that kind of a character. And so I can't think about it in some ways, as far as I'm concerned, anyway. So in that regard, I do feel like there's lots of potential for this kind of a character. So, like I said, I do wish that they could have actually make more regarding of this character in one way or another. When I think about it, I just wish they would have. I just wish they really, really would have. Like I was saying earlier, folks, they didn't want to continue due to the fact that it was lack of sales in regards of the merchandising or because of the sales of the DVDs and Blu-rays or whatever, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense as far as I'm concerned. It's that's just kind of weird in my eyes. Yeah, well, when I think about it, and yeah, the thing is that Cinderella 2 Dream Come True is probably one of the worst films I've ever seen when it comes to sequels. But that didn't stop them from making a third movie. And that also didn't stop them from getting a remake. And we all know I don't like remakes. I really, really don't like remakes at all. So, but anyway, another one that comes to mind is that, yeah, Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas is horrible. It's a really bad movie. It's a bad sequel. But it's got an even worse sequel, and which was this one. And that didn't stop them from rebooting it. And that movie was not very good. It was not very good at all. So anyway, but just it really, like I was saying, it doesn't make any sense. And yeah, Aladdin got two sequels, and both were pretty horrible. But again, it didn't stop them from remaking the first movie, and yeah, it was not very good. So this is definitely something I want to think about because yeah, they're just making excuses really. And also Mulan 2 was pretty bad. But again, and again, that didn't stop them from rebooting it. And of course, it's not that good. No, no. Also, Jungle Book 2 was not that great, really. But of course, they went ahead, and you guessed it, they just remade the first movie. Yep. They just went along and just basically remade it. That's what they did. They just definitely remade it. So it doesn't make any sense. It just comes out weird that they were just trying to do that anyway. When one of the film franchise faces a lot of bad reviews or whatnot, and that's what happened with the TinkerBell animated series. And of course, a possible reboot of this, and just all of this is because, like I just said a moment ago, some franchise of theirs gets maybe some bad reviews due to lesser installments. They just want to reboot it, and I don't like remakes. This just seems like a lazy cop out. This does not make any sense. It's just stupid. Like I said, I do see potential in future stories with this character, and they may continue the animated series depending on how well the reboot is done, how successful it might be, I guess. Well, whatever. Well, can't we just continue from the first animated movie? Just continue from there and just expand the story instead? So, like I said, it just seems lazy that they want to do it in that direction. I really wish they wouldn't. I really honestly wish they wouldn't do it in that matter. Because there's plenty of stories you can actually come up with. Of course, Disney is not going to stop making these live action remakes, and they want to do it because it's a quick way to make a dollar. And it works. This method of filmmaking really does work because people are going out to see all these reboots and whatnot. And honestly, I didn't like none of them, folks, because they just come off soulless, like they don't care. There's just no, a big fat no. And like I mentioned earlier, folks, he just comes off extremely lazy. You mean you can't come up with an original idea and just do something more creative, I guess? But I don't know, whatever. Call me cynical if you want, but I just don't want them to keep doing this kind of stuff. And it just makes me wish they could actually try to write more stories and whatnot. I mean, for these characters, for Tinkerbell. I mean, seriously, you mean that you can't go to the library or something and read? There's lots and lots and lots of books out there that's been published every month, every week, or whatever. And you mean to tell me you can't get inspired? You can't have a creative spark to continue these series of films from this point onward? I don't get it. It's just a big fat no. So yeah, I do have faith in these characters, folks. I really do have faith in these characters. And I want to see more of these, more Tinkerbell movies. It doesn't exactly have to center around her specifically, really, but she could be a part of the adventure somehow, in one way or another. I'm pretty sure they can come up with something creative, something that's interesting, something that could hold the viewer's attention in some sort of manner. I don't know, whatever. So anyway, folks, I just want to do this for real quick. I guess on a side note is that I do want to talk about more Disney related stuff, but I'm going to save it for later. This will be my last time I'm going to be talking about Disney stuff. I'm not going to stop completely, but I'm just going to give my Disney stuff a rest. So I'll give my Disney stuff a rest for a little while. I'm not sure when exactly. I'm going to do another Disney movie marathon, which I will do another one as soon as I can, of course. But I'm just going to give this series of videos a rest so I can move on to something else, at least for a little while. A good while, I guess. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time, see ya. Oh yeah.